G'day viewers, hope you are well. Just a brief little message for you. I would never tell anybody that I had seen a UFO because frankly they would think you were nuts. Nobody would actually believe you, and I think you'd probably get to the point where you'd be actually doubting yourself that you'd seen something that was a UFO. But I have actually never really seen like a full-on serious UFO myself. But having said that, I have seen something very strange. Not a UFO. Technically, what I will call it is a P. How can I put this? A UPV. I'm going to go with UPV. Unidentified parked vehicle. Yep, this is a new one. An unidentified parked vehicle. And I'll give you the story to what actually happened. So one evening, I was driving to work as I normally do, because I work night shifts. I start late at night. So I got in my car, about 9:30ish, something like that, PM. And started to head off on my usual route down a main freeway or highway. And as I was traveling along, I noticed on the side of the road, on what's called maybe the median strip, or the section between the two lanes of the freeway. So there's one going eastbound, which I was on, and then there's one going westbound in the opposite direction. And they're both multi-lane roads, and in between them is a grassed section. Some parts of it are mowed down, other parts are not so well mowed down. And I was driving in I think it was the right-hand lane of the eastbound expressway, freeway, motorway, whatever, doing about 100 kilometers per hour, which is the speed limit. And so vehicles that are approaching on the other side go past you fairly fast. And even if there's a stationary vehicle parked on the side of the road or off to the side of the road, you go past it fairly fast. So you don't have much time to look. If you're one of these people who like to gawk at accidents or eyeball or what's going on the side of the road, it doesn't give you much chance if you're traveling 100 kilometers an hour. You only get a few seconds to glance, and then you got to get your eyes back on the road again. So anyhow, I was cruising along 100 kilometers an hour, heading to work, and I noticed in the median strip on the side of the road a vehicle that was parked. And it was parked in a section of that grassed area which has got fairly long grass, I noticed. But it had lights going, and the lights looked like police lights or maybe ambulance lights, the classic red and blue. They weren't necessarily flashing the typical way that police or ambulance lights flash, but there was certainly a distinctive red light and blue light that I could see, and it gave the impression, okay, this is like a police vehicle or something like that, or maybe an ambulance. It wasn't one of those vehicles that are used by the road works people, because they have like orange lights. But this definitely wasn't a roadworks vehicle. It looked more like, as I said, an emergency vehicle, the lights of an emergency vehicle, police or ambulance or something. But the distinctive thing about it that was so surprising was the fact that it had like a cockpit to it. So as I approached it, I saw something vertically facing, directly up and down out of where the cabin of the vehicle was. And it was transparent, like glass or plastic, and just totally transparent. It didn't have any metal reinforcement or struts. So if you imagine something like a World War II aircraft canopy, you know, back in the era when they had World War II aircraft with canopies on them, they would have metal reinforcements holding, you know, the canopy panels together. The transparent canopy panels were all fixed into, you know, like a window frame type of setup, which creates a canopy. This did not have that. No metal reinforcements. It was one solid 3D, like molded piece of transparent, highly polished transparent material sticking up, and it had the shape of an aircraft canopy, like a delta shape. So if you imagine a triangle shape, and then you cut the tip of the triangle off, you get like a squared off triangle shape or delta shape, and then you imagine you fold in little bits of wings at the side of it to create this three-dimensional sort of canopy thing that would fit over, you know, a cockpit of something. That was sticking up like it was open, basically. But I couldn't see anybody in this vehicle or nearby it. It just seemed to be parked there in the middle of the median strip with red and blue lights. It didn't seem to have like a, you know, a light panel on the top of it or anything. I don't know where the lights were coming from exactly, but they looked approximately where the lights on a cop car or something would be. But it wasn't a cop car, because I mean, I've never seen anything that futuristic in terms of cop cars. Certainly not cop cars in this country, and I haven't seen cop cars anywhere else, or I'm aware of any cop cars anywhere else in the world that have this technology. You know, have like a cockpit type of thing with a clear plastic canopy sticking out of it. I couldn't see the bottom of the vehicle exactly because of the tall grass. There was an illuminated area, but I couldn't see that it had wheels. The grass was too tall around it, so you couldn't exactly see whether it had wheels. And it didn't look like a typical you know, vehicle that would drive on the road. It just looked completely odd, you know, and this canopy cockpit sticking out of it was the thing that caught my eye the most, you know, and I only had a brief second or two to see it as I went past, and wow, that's not a cop car. That's really weird. Like a VTOL vehicle, something like that, you know. But what's it doing parked in the middle of a median strip, you know, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night sort of thing on a major highway with red and blue lights going on it? What the heck is that? Like Back to the Future or what? You know, is this like a time traveler's vehicle? That's what I'm thinking, you know. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's really pointless telling anybody this, because absolutely nobody's going to believe it. You know, they're going to write it off, you know, as something explainable. Like, I guess I could come up with explanations for it as well, you know, that might be valid. Like I said, some sort of VTOL experimental aircraft or something, you know, is my guess. I wouldn't say it was alien technology. I wouldn't say it was, you know, necessarily future technology, but I don't know what it was, you know. Maybe you know what it was. Maybe you've seen something similar to that. Not a UFO, a unidentified parked vehicle. So there you go. There's a new one for you to think about. So see you guys. God bless.